Hi everybody, I'm so thrilled to be working with some of my super creative YouTube friends to bring you this beautiful set of rainbow themed tutorials. I have all of their video links plus the link to the entire playlist underneath this video. Be sure to check them out. Hi everybody, this is Laura
and Arnie
with Krazy Kool Cakes, and we're coming to you with another awesome tutorial. This time we're going to be showing you all how to make this beautiful rainbow cake topper. This is a big hit on all of our really pretty and girly cakes, and it's very, very easy to do, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun making it. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to start with red, and we all remember Roy G. Biv from when we were in school. So I've got all of the colors of the rainbow, and I'm going to go ahead and move these out of the way. I've got them already in order. And I'm needing my red gum paste, and we're going to start off by just rolling the gum paste into a very thin tube. I would say less than the width of a 1/4 of an inch. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Don't worry so much about cracks and wrinkles, because rolling it out will eliminate all of those cracks and wrinkles. And I know a lot of people sometimes have a little bit of a tough time getting perfect worms, and of course they're never going to be perfect, but the key is to not use your fingers, use the palms of your hands, and that way you can roll them out nice and quickly. You're touching more of the worm all at once, and then your palm of course is a lot flatter than your fingers. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this out to about 1 foot in length. This is the first color. This will be the outermost color. Just working my way throughout the entire length of the worm. Once I see I rolled it out enough and it's already longer than what I need, I'm going to go ahead and cut off what I don't need. And this is still too thick, so I know this is going to get longer. Once you're done rolling out the worm to the length that you want and the thickness that you want to go ahead and just leave it on the side wrapped in plastic, and that way it doesn't dry out on you. So we're going to go ahead and roll out all of our worms. And as you go through the colors, you want to make each one shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, because remember, we're making this to fit well on an 8-inch cake tier. And as we move inward to the center of the rainbow, you're not going to need your worm to be that long, okay? So I'm pretty happy with this here. It's about, I would say, a little more than 1 foot. So this is about 1 foot in length. And make sure it's all the same thickness. As you can see, I never touched it with my fingers, okay? Just use your palm to get the worm all even in size throughout the entire length. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this in plastic, and then I'll go ahead and roll out all my other worms. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I've got all of my worms rolled out: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And again, I'm creating this to fit well on an 8-inch tier, so of course you don't want the rainbow to go all the way to the edge of the tier. So we're going to try and shoot for the entire width or the diameter of the rainbow to be no more than 6 inches. So all I've done here is already put them in order, and I'm just going to squeeze them together, and I'm going to just simply arch the rainbow. Okay, hopefully you have a nice view of that. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my ruler, and once again, right now they're exactly at 6 inches, so this tells me that I need to push my rainbow together just a tiny bit more. That already looks so pretty. Okay, right now it's about 5¼ and that's good because remember we're going to be adding clouds to the bottom, so those will stick out a little bit more. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue all of my worms together. So I have my edible glue and I'm simply going to start adding glue in between the worms, and it's that easy. Okay, we're just going to do that. So I'm going to actually start on the inside, and every once in a while get your ruler out again and make sure that you're not spreading the rainbow out more than originally planned. And again, you don't need a lot of glue, you just need enough to make it tacky, and just make sure you have some stickiness in between all of the worms. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay guys, so I have my worms all glued together, and once again checking the size. Make sure you have a nice arch. Okay, 5¼ And then of course if you have some glue stains or glue kind of squirting out in between your worms, just take a damp cloth or a wipey and clean it up. Okay, so there's my beautiful rainbow. Now I'm going to cut the bottom off, and I have this really awesome straight edge blade that I like to use, and I'm going to just trim it at wherever I think it's going to look pretty. So here's my shortest end of a worm, which is a red, so I'm just going to cut off the entire thing, and I can cut all the ends of the worms all at once because my blade is 6 inches long. So just make sure you have a nice straight cut. Maybe my husband can get a top view here so y'all can see the straight cut all at once. Nice. All right guys, so let's move on to the next part. As you see here, I already have my rainbow laying on a piece of foam to let it start drying, so I'm just going to put that off to the side. And you saw me rolling out some white gum paste, and this is pretty thick. I would say about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. So as you can see, it's pretty thick, and a lot of you saw my Mother's Day tutorial and I taught you how to make some bubble clouds. So we're going to do the same thing, but these are going to be bigger, and these are going to be decorating the ends of the rainbow. Just taking some flower cutters and we've bent them out of shape, and so as you can see, these look like really cute cloud cutters. So to do the bubble effect, in case you haven't seen the other video, you just take your plastic wrap and you put it over your gum paste, and then we're going to go ahead and cut out 4 clouds, 2 large and 2 medium, and then you just simply smooth out the plastic wrap, make sure there's no wrinkles, and you put your cloud cutter and just press down nice and hard, and that way you can make sure that it's nice and cut. And so what the plastic does is it pulls the gum paste down on the edges and it creates a bubble effect. So I'm going to go ahead and, since I've got the plastic on here already, do a second large one, and then I'll do my 2 medium ones. Smooth out your plastic. If you want to create clouds for the back of the rainbow, you can also. I usually don't, but you can. So if you want to, go ahead and cut out 4 more. And then I'm going to lift my plastic and lift the gum paste. And you can see here we have some really cute bubbly clouds. Any little I can never remember the word. Burrs that are sticking out on the ends, just tap them down with your fingers so you can see real cute bubbly clouds. So I'm going to go ahead and just press all the little burrs down on all 4 of my clouds. Alright, so all we're going to do now is just, you can arrange these however you'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and just take some glue and add it to the back of my clouds. And then then you can place them at the bottom of the rainbow. I think I'll do a large one here, and make sure that the bottom of the cloud is almost near the bottom, or just barely passing a little bit the bottom of the rainbow. I'm gonna go ahead and place this smaller one on top of the larger one. And then once these are pearl shimmered, it's gonna look really pretty. Just like that. And what I would recommend is, once you've done this, go ahead and let your rainbow dry for a couple of hours, because we're gonna be adding some lolly sticks to the back. So just let it dry for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back and do the final touches on our rainbow. There's a large cloud and one last cloud. And of course you could also do 3D clouds, little bubble clouds, that will look just as cute. But this is usually the way that we do it. Just like that. So I'm gonna let that sit for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back and do the back. All right guys, so as you can see, it's a couple of hours later, and our rainbow now is pretty dry, and the clouds as well are starting to harden. And now all I'm gonna do is pearl shimmer this, because I'm going to turn it over in a little bit. So I wanna go ahead and shimmer the front of the rainbow now. So I like to use some really pretty pearl shimmer. And you don't need a lot, just enough to give it a nice glittery or shimmery look, especially on the clouds. So just take a little bit of your pearl shimmer, and you want to take a loosely bristled brush, something not too rough. And this takes just a couple of seconds. Anything with shimmer always looks a lot more beautiful, especially if you're doing a very pretty girly cake, which we obviously are if we're making rainbows. I guess there's some guys that like rainbows too, huh baby?
Yes there are.
We made a really cool cake for our friend Greg. Was it last year?
Yes indeedy.
We made a My Little Rainbow cake for My Little Pony, I should say, cake for him. He loves My Little Pony. It was a lot of fun to do, and it had tons of rainbows all over it. There we go. How pretty is that? So there's our beautiful rainbow, nicely pearl shimmered. So now I'm gonna show you all how to add some lolly sticks to the back of this if you choose to stand it up on top of your cake. If you're just gonna have this leaning up against the cake, then you're done. But let me show you how to stand it up on top of your cake. Alright guys, if you want to stand your rainbow topper on top of your cake, I'm going to teach you how to very easily create little stands for your rainbow. So I'm just kneading some white gum paste. This is going to be rolled out very thick, I would say about 1/2 inch in thickness. And we're going to just create 2 little bricks. And if you've seen our edible image cupcake toppers that we made for the basketball tournaments that happened in March, you've already seen this, but for those of you that haven't seen it, this is basically the same thing. So I'm rolling this out pretty thick, so you can see the thickness there, about 1/2 inch. And I'm taking my straight blade, and I'm just going to cut 2 tiny little brick shapes. And these are gonna be about 1 inch long and 1/2 inch in width. Or diameter, I should say. So pretty much I have a rectangle here, and I'm going to cut this in half to give me 2 little bricks. Okay. And the reason we're making these a little bit thick is so that we can insert 2 lolly sticks inside of them. And these are going to be glued behind the rainbow. So let me get this out of the way. These are 4-inch lolly sticks. Are made out of paper. You don't need any glue to stick them in here because the paper automatically sticks to the gum paste. And all you want to do is just gently hold the brick and insert the lolly stick. And you're going to push the lolly stick only halfways into the brick. And if you squeeze it a little bit, you can feel the stick on the inside. So there it is halfway in. Do the same for the other one. Halfway in. Okay. And this is the way I rolled it. So the part of the gum paste that's on the table right now is super flat, and this is gonna be the side that will be on the rainbow. So now what we're gonna do is bring in our rainbow and flip the rainbow over. And remember, this has already been allowed to dry for a couple of hours, so you can be a little, not rough, but just, you don't have to be super gentle with it.
You could be rough.
Yeah, nothing will happen to it. Okay, so here is my lolly stick. This is gonna be the flat side that's gonna be on the rainbow. So just take a little bit of edible glue, not a lot. Put a little bit of glue on the back. And you're going to turn it over. And you want the bottom of the brick to be right in line with the end of your rainbow, right in the center. And just gently push it down. Do the same thing with the other brick. A little bit of glue. And align the bottom of the brick with the bottom of the rainbow. This is how we make all of our rainbows stand up behind, or on top of the cake, I should say. Now, sometimes some people also like to hide this with some clouds. You're more than welcome to do so, but we generally don't. It's the back, so not very many people see it. And there it is. So just let this dry for, I would say, half a day or a day, and it's ready to be inserted on the top of your cake. If you want to trim the lolly stick a little bit, if you want to, if your cake tier is not that high, you're more than welcome to. Usually our cake tiers are about 5-6 inches tall, so this amount of lolly stick going into the top of our cake is just fine. So just go ahead and let that dry, okay? So there is our beautiful rainbow topper. And we hope you guys like this tutorial. Please let us know what you think, and would love it if you guys can join us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram as well. Please subscribe and leave a comment below if you like this video. And thanks again, everybody. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Don't forget to check out all these other wonderful rainbow themed tutorials. Be sure to find the links underneath this video.